At some point, travel stopped being about the journey and started being entirely about the destination. We sprint through airports. We sit in middle seats. We land exhausted, disoriented, already dreading the return trip. The getting there became something to survive rather than something to enjoy. But there is a version of travel, an older, slower, more deliberate version, where the journey itself is the entire point, where you don't wish away the hours in transit, where you wake up in a moving suite, look out a panoramic window at a landscape passing by, and think, I could do this forever. That version of travel exists. It's on a train. And it is as extraordinary as anything you'll find at any five-star hotel anywhere in the world. Today, we're covering the luxury train journeys that have redefined what it means to travel well. These are not old carriages with better cushions. These are rolling hotels with Michelin-level dining, private suites, butler service, and views that no fixed hotel room could ever compete with. Because the view changes every few minutes, and it's always extraordinary. These are the trains worth planning your entire trip around. 1. The Venice Simplon Orient Express, Europe. We start with the one that started it all. The train that for most people is the first image that appears when you hear the words luxury train journey. The Venice Simplon Orient Express. It first ran in 1883. It connected Paris to Constantinople, crossing the length of Europe. Through the Alps, through the Balkans, through landscapes that felt, to the passengers of the time, like the edge of the known world. Agatha Christie set a murder mystery on it. It carried royalty, diplomats, artists, and people who understood that the space between departure and arrival was worth inhabiting fully. Today, the train operates on a series of routes through Europe, London to Venice, Paris to Istanbul, journeys through the Swiss Alps, through the south of France, and the carriages you ride in are the original 1920s and 1930s Art Deco coaches, meticulously restored. That detail matters enormously. This is not a reproduction. You are sitting in the actual original marquetry woodwork, the original brass fittings, the original hand-embroidered upholstery. The aesthetic is not themed around the 1920s. It is the 1920s, preserved, polished, and made functional for the modern traveler. The suites have been updated. The beds are real beds. The bathrooms are properly designed, but the bones of the train are authentic in a way that no amount of money can manufacture from scratch. Dinner in the restaurant car is a black tie affair. The menu changes by season and route. The wine list is serious. The other guests are dressed for the occasion, and there is a collective social energy on the Venice Simplon Orient Express that you will not find on any other mode of transport in the world. A sense that everyone on board has made a conscious choice to be somewhere extraordinary. Together. 2. The Rovos Rail, South Africa. If the Orient Express is the definitive European luxury train experience, the Rovos Rail is its African counterpart, and makes a compelling argument that it might be the most beautiful train journey on the planet. Rovos Rail operates out of Pretoria, South Africa, running routes that range from a 2-night journey to Cape Town all the way to a 15-day epic crossing from Cape Town to Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, passing through South Africa, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and the heart of the African continent. The train is privately owned and operated by Rohan Vos, a South African entrepreneur who began restoring vintage railway coaches in the 1980s and built Rovos Rail from personal passion rather than corporate calculation. That origin story shows in every detail of the experience. The carriages are genuinely Victorian and Edwardian wood-paneled, ornate, warm, with just 36 suites on the full train, making the total guest capacity deliberately intimate. The largest accommodation, the Royal Suite, is a full 16 square meters of private space at the rear of the train, with its own lounge and a wraparound observation area that gives you an unobstructed, unframed view of the African landscape rolling away behind you. And what a landscape it is! The route from Pretoria to Cape Town passes through the Karoo Desert, one of the great wild landscapes of the Southern Hemisphere, through vineyards, through mountains, through terrain that changes so dramatically every few hours that guests find it almost impossible to sleep because they don't want to miss what comes next. The food on Rovos Rail deserves its own conversation. This is serious, course-by-course silver service dining, locally sourced, continent-inspired, paired with South African wines that are among the best in the world and criminally underknown. Dinner on Rovos Rail is not a train meal. It is a meal that happens to be on a train. There is a difference, and that difference is everything. 3. The Maharajas Express, India. India's railway system is one of the greatest achievements in human transportation history, a network so vast, so complex, and so deeply woven into the culture of the subcontinent that it is almost impossible to separate Indian life from the railway that runs through it. The Maharajas Express is India's luxury answer to its own extraordinary railway legacy, and it is one of the most awarded luxury trains in the world, holding the title of Asia's leading luxury train at the World Travel Awards for multiple consecutive years. The train runs 5 distinct itineraries, all through the cultural heartland of Rajasthan and northern India, the Heritage of India route, the Gems of India, the Indian Splendor, the Indian Panorama, and the Treasures of India. Each route packages some of the most extraordinary sights on Earth: the Taj Mahal, the Pink City of Jaipur, the temples of Varanasi, the forts of Rajasthan, into a moving hotel that takes you between them while you sleep in genuine luxury. The suites on the Maharajas Express are designed to reflect the opulence of the Maharajas who once ruled the princely states of India. Rich fabrics, hand-carved details, gold and jewel tones, craftsmanship that signals genuine cultural intent rather than generic luxury. The presidential suite spans 2 carriages and includes a private lounge, a full private bathroom, and personal butler service at all hours. What the Maharajas Express does better than almost any other luxury train in the world is context. The experience isn't just about the train. It's about what the train gives you access to: the landscapes, the monuments, the living culture of northern India, with expert guides, curated shore excursions, and a level of access that independent travel in the region would not easily provide. If you want to understand India, really understand it, at a pace that allows comprehension rather than just consumption, this is one of the finest ways to do it. 4. The Belmond Andean Explorer, Peru. Peru changed the conversation about what luxury train journeys could be when it launched the Belmond Andean Explorer in 2017, and the travel world is still catching up to what this train represents. The Andean Explorer runs through the Peruvian Andes, operating on the highest navigable railway in the world. The routes pass through landscapes that are genuinely among the most dramatic on Earth, high-altitude plains called the Altiplano, passing ancient ruins, remote indigenous communities, and views of Andean peaks that simply have no equivalent anywhere else in the world. The train itself is designed around the idea of celebrating Peruvian craftsmanship and culture at every level. The suite interiors feature hand-woven Andean textiles in deep, saturated colors. The bathrooms are finished in local materials. The dining menu is built around Peruvian ingredients and cooking traditions, and Peru, it should be noted, has one of the most extraordinary culinary cultures on Earth. The restaurant car on the Andean Explorer is better than most standalone restaurants in most cities. But the design detail that genuinely separates this train from every other luxury railway experience in the world is the open-air observation car at the rear of the train. As the train climbs through the Andes, through air that is thin and cold and startlingly clear, guests stand in the open air, watching the landscape unfold in 360 degrees of unobstructed view. The light at high altitude in the Peruvian Andes is unlike any light you've seen anywhere else. It is sharp and golden and ancient feeling. Standing in that observation car, watching it fall over mountains that have looked this way for millennia, that is a travel experience that stays with you. 5. The Blue Train, South Africa. South Africa appears twice on this list because it has two trains in the global conversation of great luxury rail journeys, and each represents a completely different philosophy. Where Rovos Rail is intimate, privately owned, and Victorian in character, the Blue Train is iconic, nationally celebrated, and defined by a particular kind of elegant restraint. The Blue Train has operated since 1946, running between Pretoria and Cape Town, a 27-hour journey of just under 1,600 kilometers through the full spectrum of South African landscape. Its reputation was built in the apartheid era, when it served the white South African elite, and has since been reinvented as a national icon accessible to anyone who can afford one of its 44 suites. The suites are designed with a contemporary luxury sensibility. No Victorian flourishes, no antique pretension, just very well designed, very comfortable, very beautiful rooms that happen to move at 60 miles an hour through one of the most compelling landscapes on the continent. The Blue Train's USP, the thing that guests come back for repeatedly, is the Karoo. The vast, ancient semi-desert at the heart of South Africa, which the train crosses in the hours between midnight and dawn. Many guests set alarms specifically to be awake for the Karoo crossing, sitting in their private suites with a glass of wine, watching the desert pass in the moonlight in complete silence. No traffic, no crowds, nothing between you and one of the oldest landscapes on Earth. That experience, available to you in a warm, quiet, moving suite in the middle of the night, is something no hotel can give you, because no hotel moves. 6. The Rocky Mountaineer, Canada. Every train on this list so far has operated primarily at night. The journey is partly about sleeping in luxury, waking up in a new landscape. The Rocky Mountaineer operates on an entirely different philosophy. This train runs only during daylight hours. Every single minute of the journey is meant to be seen. The Rocky Mountaineer runs through the Canadian Rockies, from Vancouver to Banff, from Jasper through the mountains, through routes that cross landscapes so dramatic, so outsized, so completely different from anything else in the developed world, that the decision to run only in daylight is the only logical choice. The Goldleaf service, the train's highest cabin class, features a bi-level glass-domed coach. The entire upper level is enclosed in glass, floor, ceiling, and walls. You sit inside a glass dome, moving through the Canadian Rockies, watching mountain peaks, glaciers, river canyons, and wildlife pass at a pace slow enough to actually absorb what you're seeing. Bears, eagles, elk, and bighorn sheep are regularly sighted from the train. Passengers in the dome car have reported seeing grizzly bears from a distance of fewer than 100 meters from the train. In Canada, in safety, while drinking a glass of wine. The Rocky Mountaineer is the entry point on this list, the most accessible in price, the most operationally straightforward, and the one that is most consistently described by first-time luxury train travelers as the experience that made them understand what the genre is about. If you haven't taken a luxury train journey before, this is the one to start with. There is something that all of these trains share, something beyond the good food and the beautiful suites and the extraordinary landscapes. They all require you to slow down. You cannot rush the journey. You cannot skip ahead to the destination. The train moves at the speed it moves, through the landscape it was designed to cross, and your only option, your only real option, is to be present for it. In a world that has made speed the primary value of travel, that enforced slowness turns out to be the greatest luxury of all. These are not just the best trains in the world. They are some of the best travel experiences in the world, full stop. And the fact that they move is not a limitation. It is the entire point. If one of these made it to your list, or if you've already experienced one and want to tell me what it felt like, the comments are waiting for you. Subscribe if you're not already. There's more coming.